All right, real quick before I get started, for those of you who haven't done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share this video, right? And hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video or a new lesson. And you can now follow me on Instagram at Dr. Yehoshua Ben Ephraim. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Ephraim. Today's date is August 21st, 2021, and I'm saying Ahaya by Yeshem, Yeshua HaMashiach, Baruch Atah Adonai, for now and forever. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are blessed to see another day, and all praise is due to the Most High God of Israel, now and forever. All right, Shalom, elect. Before I get started on today's lesson, I want to give a shout out to everybody that made our first round table yesterday. I tell you, man, it blessed me so much. I mean, just the spirit was just there. I mean, just everyone, man. I mean, it was good to see everybody put a face with a lot of the usernames, stuff like that. You know, many of us, we had went back and forth through the email, and so to be able to see many of you and for us to just kind of build, man. I mean, just it was just the whole room, man. The whole vibe was just like-minded spirits, and for me, that's what I need. That's what I want. That's what I want to build. You know, a community built in trust and respect, and have a bunch of like-minded spirits. You know, fellowshipping with each other, right? All having a thirst for knowledge and a thirst for the Most High at the end of the day. Like I told one of the sisters yesterday, you know, at the round table, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's about our soul salvation, and we can never lose sight of that. And I just want to give everyone a shout out that made it in, even the ones that made it in a little late. You know, all good. I get it, right? We're a little fluid with that. You know, I know sometimes people get caught up in traffic trying to, you know, get home from work or whatever the case may be. You might be in a different time zone. I get all of that. Right, so no problems there, you know, but just everyone showed up, and I mean, just the spirit was just so, I loved it, man. I look so forward to the one next Friday, God willing, at 6, like I said, until further notice, or until, you know, I cancel it. We're going to be meeting every Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that link, you guys save that link. That's the same link you'll be using, same credentials to get back in, moving forward every you know, every Friday at 6. So thank everyone for that, man. Much love, you know, peace and blessings to you all. And some of the things I wanted to say, I didn't even have to say. I mean, it was just a given, the spirit, man. I'm not telling you, man, the Most High blessed me so much with you guys that made it. Really, it's just everything was just on point, man. I can't say enough about it. The brothers and sisters that showed up, everyone was respectful of one another. You know, we dialogue. We gave a little brief intro on everybody, and you know, and that's what it is. I wanted everyone to feel welcomed first and foremost, and more than that, comfortable. You know, and I feel good moving forward. This is a really great nucleus. You know, I'm not worried about the people that wasn't there. You know, my concern and was on the people that was there, right? And so, and I thank God, you know, for each and every one of you, right? And I look forward to the next one. So, before I get started with today's lesson, I want to talk a little bit about this remnant, right? That remnant, you know, it means more to me now than it ever has. You know, it was always mind-boggling to know that there are so many of us, you know, in the world, right? We're just scattered pretty much in every nation, right? But only a small percentage of us, right, is going to make it, quote unquote. It's going to be returned to the Most High. And let me speak to that real quick before I get into today's lesson. The reason why that is because, see, unfortunately, a lot of our brothers and sisters who profess to be in the truth right now, right, profess to be Israelites, you're still holding on to heathenistic ways and beliefs, so you're not really in the truth. You're partly in the truth, and that's not going to get it, right? When the Most High dedicated himself, when the Most High called, he said he wanted us to be his chosen nation above all nations. It wasn't a half-time commitment to us. It was full-time, and he was sold out. Well, we have to be the same way, right? And what do I mean by that? I'm gonna say we because collectively, not me personally, but we. I'm gonna say we because it's collective, and I don't want you to think I'm, pointing the fingers. But we cannot claim to be an Israelite or claim to be in the truth, still holding on to Christian dogma or Christian theological beliefs, and mixing the two doctrines, mixing so-called New Testament and Israelite law. I will continue to say that, my people, because majority of us are not getting it. How can you be an Israelite and still holding on to heathenistic beliefs? Okay, we have our testament. It's called the Torah. It's called the Tanakh. Okay, there is no New Testament. When Christ said he came to fulfill the law stopped at the Tanakh, my people. There was never no New Testament. That's what I'm trying to get you all to understand. There was never a New Testament. The Romans, right, they stole Christ from us, put him in a so-called New Testament, made him God, and made a religion after him. That's how we got here. And to this day, many of you, the Christians are what it is, okay? That's what it is. But for you Israelite brothers and sisters, y'all need to understand this. There was never no New Testament. Christ told us he came, who he came for. The lost sheep of the house of Israel. He told us, he's telling the Christians, I didn't come here for no New Testament. I didn't come here to start no new laws. Okay, I didn't come to abolish no laws. I came to fulfill the law. And that, my brothers and sisters, Christ realistically should have ended the Tanakh, not no New Testament. And one of the sisters, said that, two of the sisters said that, and I brought it home by saying they're right. After the Gospels of Christ, that should have been it. And all that stuff with Paul and Timothy and all those letters and all that should have been a totally separate book from ours and call it the Book of the Gentiles or something like that. They should never have included the New Testament with our laws. And so getting the majority to embrace and understand that's why it's going to be a remnant, my people. Now I understand. Because a lot of our people that profess to be Israelites, they're not going to get it because they're not going to give up their some of their heathenistic beliefs and ways, and that's just not going to work for the Most High. We got to be all in and sold out to Him as He was to us, fully dedicated to the laws, statutes, and commandments given to the children of Israel. The Most High did not give us the New Testament. Okay, y'all need to understand this. So I'm going to leave that there, man. I really want the Most High to open your spiritual ears and eyes, because I want you all to get it. I want all of you to be of the remnant. All right, and the path you're currently on with these false teachers and these false elders and these false so-called apostles, whatever they want to call themselves, is not going to get it, my people. You're blind, and if you're blind and you're leading the blind, Christ said He's going to lead you in the ditch. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna get off that, but I just had to speak to that. That remnant means more to me now than it ever has. I get it. I really, really get it now. Okay, and I understand why it's only a small percentage going to make it back. So I need you all to get it too. I hope and pray that you all get it. All right. Well, today's lesson was based on it was inspired. Y'all know I like to ask questions. I get inspired by y'all. I try to read all your comments and listen to you, right? And I ask you questions, stuff like that. And someone asked a question about a group of people. They call them Africans out in India. Well, if any of you know the history of India, they've never really been, especially with what's his name, Mahatma Gandhi, for all his popularity of being a man of peace and all this and that. He had a very distorted, messed up view about Africans. He said some very disparaging things on record about Africans. So, Indians never really treated Africans or had a really fond idea of Africans. So, someone said something about this group out in India who clearly were of African descent. They were, whatever the case may be, and asked if they were a part of the curses or Israelites, whatever the case may be. I'll post the question, the exact question that was posed. And before I start the lesson, let me just say real quick, I actually did a post on these people some years ago on Facebook, in my Facebook community, right? But I never did a video on them because they're never talked about. And when you see when you see the images and you see the lesson, you'll be like, wow, you know. But the short answer is yes. I always discerned that they were our people based on the circumstances surrounding how they got to India. They were a part of the transatlantic slave trade brought there by the Portuguese. Okay, and so I always discerned that they were, but I literally just found out recently, and I revealed this yesterday at the round table. I literally just found out recently that genetically, yes, those so-called African Indians in India, they're not African at all. They're Israelites. They're E1B1A. More than half of them are E1B1A, and of course, a percentage of them carries the Indian DNA, and a few probably like the Portuguese or whatever, if they were raped or whatever. But more than half of them carry the E1B1A, so that gives us genetic proof that they are definitely genetic Hebrew Israelites, man. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get the lesson started. All right, like I said, this question was posed on the channel, and I'm not sure if the poster is male or female with that name. You know, it's just kind of one of those names that's you know, no gender attached. But shout out to Jalen for asking that question. Yes, the Siddis are Israelites, and you know, like I said, I did a report on them in my Facebook community, and I discerned at the time that yes, they were in fact a part of us, a part of the diaspora, the Israelite diaspora. They always say African diaspora, but it's actually an Israelite diaspora. So yes, they are. And here's a definitive answer to your question. Deuteronomy 4:27, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. It's not only did the Most High scatter us among every nation on earth, but we're going to take up their heathenistic ways, their heathenistic beliefs, their heathenistic cultures. We're going to be so far away from being Israelite, we would never even think that that's what we were and that's what we are. So yes, the Siddis are children of Israel. They are not Africans. And this is part of their story.
It could be a village anywhere in Africa. Locals celebrating with their centuries-old music and dance. But Jambur is 1,000,000 miles from the continent, and these apparent Africans are in fact Indians whose ancestors have lived here in Gujarat state for up to 1,000 years. Known as Siddis, this tribe of African descent retains few links with its mysterious past. They know nothing of how or why their forefathers came here, but there is one thing that ties them to their unique heritage.
In our musical performances, we are like one. We all have the same musical style. It's also the same when we dance.
Music and physical features are the few clues that anthropologists have to trace the Siddis. Some believe their forefathers were labourers from modern-day Kenya and Uganda who were brought to India on Arab slave ships between the 10th and 14th century.
All the Arab traders or raiders, either way, had to bring lot of these slaves, and at convenient places they were given their freedom when the nearest landmass came.
Anthropologists believe there are up to 15,000 Siddis living along India's west coast. While they have adopted the local culture, most live in abject poverty, even compared to other Indians. Their reluctance to integrate with mainstream communities means they are often left out of development.
We have a lot to worry about. People in other villages live happy lives, but our people are miserable. So we do worry.
The government has given them special tribal status to guarantee Siddis access to jobs and education. But life is still hard.
Yes, hard indeed, you know. And after listening to that and looking at this presentation, even without genetics or DNA, I mean, it's clear that they are a part of the curses of the book of Deuteronomy, and went into slavery by way of slave ships during the transatlantic slave trade. And like I said, I discerned that back when I did a report on them in my Facebook community. And I don't know why the Most High led me to them, but He did. I guess I don't know. I don't want to guess, but I had never heard of them, right? And I was led to them. He led me to them, and I like I said, did a post. But then when I got the question on the channel, then I decided to go ahead and just do an actual presentation here on YouTube about them. They are our people. And here's the genetic part of the lesson, or the genetic proof that they are in fact children of Israel. They're not Africans, okay? Of course, they refer to all of us that way, whatever. It is what it is. But we all know E1B1A is the seed of Jacob, okay? And let me bring up the... hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, here's the Y DNA haplotype of the Siddis and the mitochondrial DNA. I don't know if you all can read this because I screenshotted it off the internet. But the Y DNA, the Y chromosome of the Siddis, the authors observed the E1B1A M2 haplogroup, which is frequent among Bantu peoples, okay? And about 42%, 34% of Siddis from Karnataka and Gujarat, respectively. Around 14% of Siddis from Karnataka and 35% of Siddis from Gujarat also belong to the sub-Saharan BM60. The remaining Siddis has Indian-associated or Near Eastern-linked clades, including haplogroups P, H, R1A, M17, J2, and LM20. So, and then it says Kamar analyzed Makrani Siddis in Pakistan and found that they instead predominantly carried Indian-associated or Near Eastern-linked haplogroups R1A1A /M17, J2, and R2, with their most common male lineage. And for the mitochondrial, says according to the mitochondrial DNA study of the Siddis women, the maternal ancestry of the Siddis consists of a mixture of Bantu-associated haplogroups and Indian-associated haplogroups, reflecting substantial female gene flow from neighboring Indian populations, which is to be expected. About 53% of the Siddis from Gujarat and 24% of the Siddis from Karnataka belong to various Bantu-derived macrohaplogroup L subclades. The latter mainly consisted of L0 and L2A sublineages associated with Bantu women. The remainder possessed Indian-specific subclades of the Eurasian haplogroups M and N, which points to recent admixture with autochthonous Indian groups. And I mean, and the DNA data of the Siddis are really no different than all of us. Okay, once we were scattered throughout the four corners of the world, I mean, our blood, like it's all over the place. I mean, it really is. It's almost fascinating to see all the mixes with us around the world, right? But there's no denying it. I mean, our blood and our lineages, our Y DNA, our mitochondrial, is literally all over the world. The Most High said He was going to scatter us among the nations, and that's exactly what He did, and we have genetic proof of that. And so the Siddis DNA data, like I said before, I just found this out, but before I even saw this, I already discerned in my spirit that's who they are. I mean, I can only guess that's why the Most High led me to them, because I never heard of them in my life. I mean, I never even cared about Mahatma Gandhi, not being disrespectful, but I'm just being truthful. So to lead me to them, there was a purpose for that, right? Because I'm like, why would the Most High lead me? Not like I'm questioning Him, but theoretically, like, why would He lead me to them if there wasn't a reason for it or whatever? And I don't know ultimately what the reason is, but I know that I was led to them, and I discerned that that's who they were even before I didn't even do any DNA on them or do any DNA research on them. But here we have the proof, E1B1A. So there you have it. So that puts that this presentation in the full focus and brings it home full circle. So they're definitely us, man. So, I pray that the Most High have mercy on them over there, and this is why I say to my people, listen, all of us aren't cursed. I know we discussed this in the roundtable yesterday, right? But the few of us that are blessed in comparison to the masses of our people, man, like listen, we are still living out the curses. I mean, just look at what's going on. Look at the current events. Look at the injustices we go through. Look at the fact that we have no power structure. We don't own anything. I'm not going to get into the whole curses. Y'all know what it is. But, I just wanted to that was like the final little, thing right there, the DNA of the Siddis to kind of bring it home. So, yes, they are children of Israel. All right. And so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this presentation, right? Until the next time, this is Dr. Ephraim signing off, saying Ahaya Bayashim, Yeshua HaMashiach, Baruch Atah Adonai, Shabbat Shalom, elect.